This is my prototype signature model, the Binary Maniac. And as I've been writing this through the past months, I've been providing feedback to Binary about some things I'd like tweaked for the production model. And today we're going to talk about what those changes are and what we can expect to see in the production model. So first off, you'll notice the frame shape has changed slightly, just the look of it. We've lost the swoopy top tube. We've still kept a nice curve in the down tube to give it room for a frame bag and a nice distinctive look, but it looks a little bit more refined in my opinion. You'll also notice we've straightened the seat tube. We've got a completely straight seat tube so you can run huge droppers in it. And the dropper routing is not going to insert here anymore. It's going to come in the down tube and then feed through, all completely internal. So the only port it enters is up here in the bottom of the down tube. That gets this cable out of the way for water bottles, a little bit cleaner look, a little bit cleaner routing. This was kind of a sharp angle here, and the bottom of the dropper could only go to here. By routing it completely internal, we'll be able to run the dropper all the way down to where the seat tube meets the bottom bracket. The seat tube's also slightly offset forward to fix the seat angle. When I rode my prototype on this, you'll remember I said, man, this seat angle's steep. Well, I measured it and it was 79 degrees effective seat tube angle. We meant for it to be 76 and a half, 77, somewhere in there, but I didn't communicate that very well to Binary and they thought I wanted a 79 degree seat angle. So I ended up running the 9.8 fall line R with the offset forehead, which pulls the seat back a good inch. So my effective seat tube now with this modification is 77 degrees and it feels great. And that's where the production model is going to be, is a 77 degree seat tube. So it's not going to have the kink in it. It's not going to be quite as steep as this. It's going to be a little more laid back. So that's really good. You'll also notice the head tube's a little bit different. We still have the great logo on there, but it's no longer a cone-shaped head tube. It's a straight 44 mil head tube. You'll notice most titanium and steel bikes run that straight 44 mil head tube. A little bit simpler, a little bit lighter, a little bit more classic looking. That doesn't mean it takes a straight steerer. It still takes a tapered steerer, but the tube itself is just one straight tube. The seat stay bridge where the seat stays join is going to be a little bit further up here. I think it just gives it a little bit sleeker look. But we've still got the nice thin seat stays to give it that nice smooth ride. That's something I was adamant about. I do not want this to be a harsh bike. We've also redesigned the chainstay yoke a little bit. We were going to go with the T47 bottom bracket. I like that standard, but it didn't quite give us the clearance that we needed to be able to run this 29 by 3.0 all the way forward in the dropouts. So many companies I've worked with said that's impossible. You can't get a 415 chainstay with 29 by 3.0. Well, on CAD, we can, and we'll see how that works in production, but it will definitely get further forward than it is right now. The top loop's going to flare out a little bit more. We've done some redesigning in here. We've lost the ISCG tabs, but you can always run an adapter if you do want to run a bash guard. That just was some of the stuff we needed to do to be able to fit this big wheel in there. So it's still threaded bottom bracket, still standard BSA 73, so that's fine. We've still got external cable routing for the brakes and for the shifter, and I've changed a couple of the mounting tabs where they are just to get a little bit cleaner flowing lines through here. It's cool that Binary was willing to prototype this with me, and that's how we get all these little things fine-tuned. Like we're moving these rack mounts to be more vertical on them and just overthinking every little thing here. It's those little details that make a huge difference. And most bike companies don't prototype. They just build it in CAD, send it to the manufacturer and say, we'd like 1,000 of those. And then by the time they come, they realize, oops, we should have moved this cable mount here, but now that we've got 1,000, too bad. So I know it's taken a little while to get these to you guys, and I know you've been really patient, but it will be worth it ironing out all these little kinks. And this bike already rides fantastic, but I think the tweaks we made are going to take it to the next level. I've been having a ton of fun on this. I've taken it bike packing. I've had it on all of the trails in Sedona. I've had it single speed. I've had it plus. I've had it mullet. I've had it XC Light, Race Zippy, and it's just such a versatile bike. You get so many options in this one bike. And I wanted that as long as it didn't compromise with my favorite trail bike. And so I didn't want it to be kind of good at everything. I wanted it to be really good at blue and black diamond trails And what I actually found on the prototype was it's better at double black diamond trails than black diamonds. It wants to get rowdier than I intended it to be. So I've actually tweaked it a little bit there in the geometry. I've shortened the reach 5 mil. It's only 5 mil, not a huge difference. But I wanted it a little more compact, a little more playful. We've raised the bottom bracket ever so slightly, and we've built the geo around a 130 fork. I've ridden this rigid. I've ridden it with a 120 fork. I've ridden it with a 130 and a 140 fork. I think 130 is the sweet spot. So it's got a 65-degree head angle with the 130 fork. You can always go down to a super light 120 fork, get a little bit steeper head angle, get a little bit snappier response out of it. And because our sizes are so close to each other, if you can't find a bike with the reach that works for you, something's wrong. I've never seen another company that has so many sizes to offer. So I could size up, I could size down, I could stay on the medium that I've got here. So the next steps, they're rushing one of these to me for the production model so I can build it up and look at it and take a few quick rides on it to make sure, yes, we love everything on here. Go ahead and push go and make the batch for everyone who's pre-ordered. The good news is if you want one of these and you haven't pre-ordered, you can still add to the pre-order as we're getting those orders fulfilled. Now I'm going to defer to Binary on shipping times and estimation times. We're still working on all that, and they're the best people to contact about sizing and about availability and about all of that stuff. But realize that we're doing this different than most companies do. We can't just go out and order 1,000 of these and have them just sitting in a warehouse so that when you're ready to buy, there's one available. We're doing these in small batches. So if you're interested in this bike and you like what you see, get in on that first batch so you're not waiting longer than the other people. Anyway, all of that stuff, shipping, logistics, ordering, sizing, work with Binary. They're fantastic. And if you're not already subscribed to their newsletter, make sure you're subscribed so you can be updated on these updates. They're going to announce out all of these updates in detail. It's been a wonderful partnership because I'm able to work with them and say, hey, this is what I want. And they'll say, okay, here are the 3 things we've tried in the past to achieve that. Here are the pros and cons of each. Which one do you want? And it's been great to be able to lean on their expertise because I know what I want, but I haven't experimented enough with building bikes to know what each option is going to be like. And they have that experience. So it's been a real partnership with Binary. They've been fantastic to work with. I'm stoked to be supporting a local Arizona company. The frames are not built in the US. There is no plan for a steel version. If there were a steel version and it were made in the US, it would end up costing the same price as the titanium one anyway. The prototype rides as good as any steel frame I've ridden and better than most. And I think the production model is going to ride even better. Another change we made, we've added water bottle mounts inside the triangle here on the seat tube, but they're bolts, so they stick out, kind of like that Newhouse Metalworks that I rode. And so they don't protrude into the seat tube. So you can run 2 water bottles in the frame and still get full dropper insertion. I thought that was awesome. We've moved the location of these three bosses a little bit lower. When I go bike packing, I carry my big water down there, and I prefer it a little bit lower. So just all sorts of little things. We've rethought every single cable tie, all the cable routing, all these, bike packing mounts that I've put on it. And I'm really proud with what we've come up with. It's surprising how versatile this bike is, yet it's still fun on my all-time favorite trails. I'm biased. This is not a neutral review. I'm involved with this project. And when you buy a Maniac, it helps support this channel and helps me be able to pay my bills. Thank you so much to all of you who've pre-ordered and put trust in this product before you've even seen it. As soon as my production version arrives, the second it arrives, I will release that video and show you guys what it's like. Anyway, this has been a super fun project. I've learned a ton about the industry. I've learned a lot about designing bikes, and there's still a lot more to learn. But this is just one step in my journey of creating the perfect hardtail. You guys are amazing. Thanks for watching. Post your questions and comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. There's a party in the mountains, and you're invited.